Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a place where sadness doesn't exist. A place where pain is just a distant memory, where every desire of your heart is fulfilled before you even speak it aloud. Imagine walking through gardens so vast that they stretch beyond the horizon, beneath trees whose fruits hang low just for you, beside rivers that flow with water purer than crystal, milk sweeter than honey, and delights your tongue has never tasted. This is not a dream. This is not fantasy. This is Jannah, the paradise promised by Allah to those who believe and do righteous deeds. Tonight, we embark on a journey through the descriptions given to us in the noble Qur'an, the very words of Allah revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. We will walk through gardens described in divine verses. We will discover what awaits the believers, and we will understand why Jannah represents the ultimate goal of every Muslim's life. The word Jannah itself comes from the Arabic root meaning garden or concealed place, a realm so magnificent that it remains hidden from our worldly eyes, reserved for those who earn Allah's pleasure through faith and righteous action. The Qur'an speaks of Jannah in vivid, breathtaking detail. According to scholars, the word appears 147 times throughout the Holy Book, each mention painting another stroke in the magnificent portrait of eternal bliss. But Jannah is not merely mentioned in passing. Allah describes it with such care, such attention to detail, that we can almost feel the breeze of its perfect climate, almost taste the fruits of its endless orchards, almost hear the gentle flowing of its rivers. These descriptions serve a purpose beyond simple illustration. They ignite within our hearts a longing for something greater than this temporary world, a yearning for our true home. Belief in the afterlife stands as one of the 6 pillars of faith in Islam. Without this belief, our understanding of life's purpose becomes clouded, our sense of justice incomplete. In this world, we witness the righteous suffering and the wicked prospering. We see good people facing hardship while evildoers live in comfort. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom and perfect justice, has established a realm beyond this one, where every soul receives exactly what it deserves, where every tear shed in patience is rewarded, where every moment of struggle for righteousness is honored with eternal peace. The Quran tells us clearly that paradise is not granted by wishful thinking or empty claims. Allah says that those who believe and do righteous deeds, these are the companions of paradise, and they will abide therein forever. The path to Jannah requires both elements working together, faith rooted deep in the heart like a mighty tree, and righteous action flowing from that faith like fresh water from a spring. One cannot exist without the other. Faith without action is hollow, and action without faith is meaningless. Throughout the Quran, Allah describes paradise as gardens beneath which rivers flow. This simple phrase, repeated again and again, carries profound meaning. In the desert lands where Islam first took root, where water was precious and gardens rare, the image of endless flowing rivers and lush greenery represented the ultimate luxury, the peak of comfort and beauty. But the paradise Allah describes transcends even our wildest earthly comparisons. The Quran makes this clear when it states that no soul knows what joy of the eyes is kept hidden for them as a reward for what they used to do. The Quran speaks about paradise with certainty and beauty. It describes it as being as vast as the heavens and the earth, prepared for the righteous. This immense scale helps us understand that paradise is not a limited space where only a few can fit, but rather an infinite realm where every deserving soul finds their place, where no one feels crowded or constrained. The width of paradise, compared to the vastness of the entire cosmos, tells us that Allah's mercy and generosity know no bounds. In Surah Al-Waqiyah, the Quran paints a vivid picture of the blessed inhabitants of paradise, describing them as being on thrones woven with gold, reclining on them facing each other. They will be served by immortal youths carrying around vessels and cups filled with pure drinks. These descriptions use imagery familiar to us, yet the reality they point towards surpasses anything we can truly imagine. The Quran is speaking to us in a language we understand, using metaphors drawn from what we know to give us a glimpse of what we cannot yet comprehend. The promise of paradise appears throughout the Quran in various forms. Sometimes it's mentioned as a reward for specific deeds, like caring for orphans, being patient during hardship, or standing up for justice. Other times, it's described as a gift of divine mercy for those who simply believe in Allah and strive to do what is right. This combination of specific guidance and general mercy shows us that paradise is both earned through our efforts and granted through Allah's grace. Paradise is not a single, uniform place. According to authentic teachings, Jannah consists of multiple levels, each more beautiful and magnificent than the last. The higher the level, the greater the blessings, the closer to Allah, the more intense the joy. These levels are earned through varying degrees of faith, righteousness, and struggle in the path of Allah. The distance between each level, according to hadith, is vast beyond imagination, described in some narrations as the distance between the heavens and the earth, or in others as a journey of 100 years. At the very pinnacle of paradise stands Al-Firdaus, the highest and most excellent abode. This supreme level lies directly beneath the throne of Allah, the center point of all paradise, the most precious and honored place in existence. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, specifically advised his companions to ask Allah for Al-Firdaus when they supplicated for paradise. This level represents the ultimate achievement, the highest station a believing soul can attain. According to scholarly interpretations based on various traditions, the levels of paradise each offer unique blessings and stations. There is Jannat Aden, understood to be the Garden of Eden or perpetual residence, a place prepared especially for the prophets, the truthful ones, the martyrs, and the most righteous of believers. The Quran describes it as a place where angels greet the inhabitants with glad tidings of eternal success for their patience. Then there is Jannat an-Naim, the Garden of Delight, described in the Quran as filled with every blessing and peace that the heart could desire. Everything wished for manifests there, and the believers live in perpetual joy through Allah's grace. Dar al-Khuld, whose name suggests permanence, represents the everlasting home of happiness, where believers live free from fear and grief, surrounded by countless blessings that never diminish or fade. Jannat al-Mawa is understood as the place of refuge, with some scholars suggesting it holds special significance for those who gave their lives as martyrs in the cause of truth. Dar as-Salam, the home of peace, takes its name from one of Allah's beautiful names. The Quran speaks of it as offering eternal safety and freedom from all fear, sadness, and evil, where peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but a positive state of harmony that permeates everything. The Quran also mentions Illiyun, describing it as a high and noble place, a record of the righteous. Based on Quranic descriptions, this appears to be a lofty station where the angels closest to Allah and the most righteous of believers reside. These descriptions from various sources help us understand that Allah has prepared something unique and special for each level of righteousness, each degree of faith, each measure of struggle in His cause. Even the lowest level of paradise granted to the humblest Muslim believer will be as vast as 10 worlds combined. When the inhabitants of lower levels gaze toward the palaces of those in higher stations, they will see them like stars shining from vast distances away, just as we see stars twinkling in the night sky. Yet there will be no envy, no resentment, for Allah will have removed all negative feelings from their hearts, replacing them with contentment, gratitude, and pure joy. The Quran speaks of gates leading into paradise, mentioning that they will be opened for the righteous who arrive in groups. From the prophetic teachings, we learn more details about these gates. According to hadith traditions, paradise has 8 main gates, each one honoring a different path of worship and righteousness. These are not the simple doorways we know in this world, but structures of majesty beyond our ability to imagine. The traditions tell us that each gate welcomes those who excelled in particular acts of worship. One gate receives those who were constant in their prayers, who stood before Allah 5 times daily without fail, who bowed and prostrated with sincere hearts. Another gate, known in the traditions as Ar-Rayyan, opens especially for those who fasted, who controlled their appetites and desires for the sake of Allah, who experienced thirst and hunger yet remained patient and grateful. Those who gave charity generously find their entry through a gate that honors their sacrifice, welcoming those who shared their wealth with the needy and spent in Allah's cause. Another honors those who struggled in the cause of truth, who stood firm against oppression, who defended justice even when difficult. The gate for those who performed the sacred pilgrimage welcomes those who answered Allah's call to visit His house in Makkah. The traditions also speak of a gate for those remarkable souls who controlled their anger, who chose forgiveness over revenge and patience over retaliation. Another welcomes those blessed ones who will pass into paradise without being held to account. Their faith and deeds so pure that Allah grants them direct entry. And there is a gate for those whose hearts and tongues constantly remembered Allah, who filled their days with glorification, praise, and consciousness of the Creator. The traditions mention that standing at these gates is Ridwan, an angel whose duty is to welcome the believers and open the doors to eternal bliss. It's understood that as each believer approaches according to their primary deeds and character, they are greeted with joy and honor, their struggles acknowledged, their triumph over worldly temptations celebrated. When the gates swing open and believers step into paradise, they enter a realm that transforms everything they thought they knew about beauty, comfort, and joy. The Quran describes gardens beneath which rivers flow, but these are not the rivers of our earthly experience. In Surah Muhammad, Allah paints a detailed picture. In paradise are rivers of water that never become stale or stagnant, rivers of milk whose taste never changes or sours, rivers of wine that bring pure delight to those who drink without any intoxication or harmful effects, and rivers of honey so pure and clear that it flows like liquid light. These 4 types of rivers branch throughout all levels of paradise, originating from seas of each substance that exist in the highest realms. The water remains forever fresh and pure, never developing the taste of age or contamination. The milk flows eternally sweet, never turning sour or developing the slightest unpleasant flavor. The wine of paradise bears no resemblance to the intoxicating drinks of this world. It causes no drunkenness, no loss of reason, no harmful after effects, only pure pleasure and joy. The honey flows in perfect clarity, strained of all impurities, sweet beyond description, yet never cloying. The most famous of paradise's rivers is Al-Kawthar, a special gift from Allah to His beloved Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. The Prophet himself described this river during his miraculous night journey. He saw a river whose banks were formed of domes made of hollow pearls, whose water was whiter than milk and sweeter than honey, whose fragrance was that of musk itself. From beneath the throne of Allah, this blessed river flows down through Sidrat al-Muntaha, the lote tree that marks the boundary of the highest heaven, then into Al-Firdaus, and from there it branches to bring its blessings to every level of paradise. The structures of paradise defy earthly imagination. The believers will dwell in mansions, and the Qur'an speaks of their construction in terms we can relate to, mentioning precious materials. According to the descriptions we have, these homes are built with bricks of gold and silver, with materials so fine and fragrant that they transcend our earthly experience. The pathways are adorned with what we would consider precious gems, and even the soil carries the fragrance of the finest spices. Rising throughout the gardens stands what the traditions call the tuba tree, a tree of such magnificent size that its description defies our understanding of scale. One narration describes it as so vast that if a swift horse were to gallop along its trunk at full speed, it would take 100 years to traverse from one end to the other. The branches of this blessed tree are said to extend throughout paradise, reaching into every home, so that all inhabitants can enjoy its shade, its fruits, and its blessings. Whatever a believer desires, this tree provides, with branches that bend down to offer gifts as with perfect generosity. The climate of paradise exists in perfect balance. The Qur'an tells us that the inhabitants will recline under shade that is neither too hot nor too cold. There is no scorching sun to cause discomfort, no bitter cold to make them shiver. Instead, a perfect warmth pervades everything, a comfortable and soothing, eternal spring without the harshness of any extreme. A gentle breeze flows through the gardens at the mere wish of the inhabitants, carrying fragrances of musk and ambergris, causing the leaves of the countless trees to rustle with sounds so beautiful that nothing in our earthly experience could compare. When believers first enter paradise, they undergo a transformation. All the weaknesses and limitations of earthly bodies fall away. According to prophetic traditions, they will be at the perfect age of youth and vitality, in the prime of health and beauty, with eternal youth that will never fade. Their forms become perfected, radiant with light, beautiful beyond description. The traditions describe how all body hair disappears, leaving skin smooth and pure, and how eyes become illuminated with a striking quality that the Qur'an emphasizes. The inhabitants of paradise will wear clothing unlike anything known in this world. The Qur'an mentions garments of fine silk and rich brocade, and the traditions elaborate on these descriptions, speaking of garments that are simultaneously as light as air, yet as richly embroidered as the most luxurious fabrics. These clothes are described as having multiple layers, each decorated with different colors and patterns, yet feeling weightless and perfectly comfortable. The believers will be adorned with bracelets of gold and pearls, with jewelry that catches and reflects the divine light of paradise in displays of beauty. Food and drink in paradise serve only for pleasure, never from need. The inhabitants will never feel the pangs of hunger or the discomfort of thirst, yet they will enjoy eating and drinking as a source of pure delight. The Qur'an mentions fruits of all kinds, always fresh and readily available. These fruits have transparent skins, so you can see their perfect flesh inside. When you eat one fruit, another immediately appears in its place, and every bite brings a taste that somehow combines everything you ever loved with something entirely new and wonderful. The meat of birds features prominently in the feasts of paradise. Whatever type of fowl a believer desires, it appears before them, perfectly prepared, seasoned to their exact taste. They can enjoy these dishes without any of the earthly concerns about digestion, weight, or health effects. In paradise, eating brings only pleasure, never discomfort. The drinks come served in vessels of gold and silver, in cups and goblets of crystal and precious metals. Besides the rivers of water, milk, wine, and honey, there are special drinks mentioned in the Qur'an. Camphor and tasneem represent drinks of such exquisite taste that our earthly vocabulary cannot properly describe them. These beverages bring joy and satisfaction beyond measure, yet never cause intoxication or any negative effect. Here is something remarkable. In paradise, there will be no need for what we consider basic bodily functions in this world. No need for restrooms, for the food and drink of paradise produces no waste. The body absorbs everything as pure nourishment and pleasure. According to the prophetic traditions, there will be no sleep in paradise either, for sleep is described as the brother of death, and death has been abolished in that eternal realm. The inhabitants remain always alert, always able to enjoy the endless blessings, never growing tired, never needing rest. The transformation extends to the mind and emotions as well. Allah removes from the hearts of paradise's inhabitants all capacity for negative feelings. Sadness, grief, anger, envy, jealousy, boredom, these emotions simply cease to exist. The Quran promises that Allah will remove whatever is in their breasts of resentment, making them brothers and sisters upon thrones facing one another. Every feeling, every thought, every emotion will be pure and positive. This does not make the inhabitants less than human, but rather more fully human than we can be in this world of tests and trials. They become perfected versions of themselves, with all the beauty of human emotion and none of its destructive aspects. One of the most beautiful promises of paradise is the reunion of righteous families. Those whose parents, spouses, children, and loved ones also earned paradise through faith and righteous deeds will be brought together again. The Quran describes this reunion with tender words, speaking of how believers will enter gardens together with whoever was righteous among their fathers, their spouses, and their descendants, while angels enter upon them from every gate saying, "Peace be upon you for what you patiently endured, and excellent is the final home." This promise carries profound meaning for believers. It tells us that the love we feel for our family members in this world is not temporary, not destined to end with death. Instead, these bonds of love, when rooted in faith and righteousness, become eternal. The parent who raised their child with knowledge of Allah, the spouse who supported their partner in doing good, the children who honored their parents and followed the path of righteousness. All these relationships find their fulfillment in paradise, perfected and made eternal. The Quran also indicates that children who pass away before maturity will be with their parents in paradise. According to the understanding of scholars based on Quranic principles, these young souls will be raised up to join their parents at their level. So families remain united. This doesn't diminish the parents' rewards, but rather represents another mercy from Allah, ensuring that families separated by death in this world find wholeness in the next. For married couples who both enter paradise, their bond will be restored and perfected. The prophetic teachings tell us that whichever spouse earned a higher level through their deeds, the other will be raised to that same station, so they can be together. This beautiful principle means that every prayer one spouse made, every good deed they performed, also raised their partner's rank in the eternal realm. In paradise, marriage becomes what it always should have been, a source of pure joy, perfect harmony, and ever-increasing love. There will be no arguments, no misunderstandings, no hurt feelings, no disappointments. Instead, each time spouses see each other, they find their partner even more beautiful than before, and both express wonder at how the other has grown in radiance. For those who never married in this world, or who never found happiness in marriage, Allah promises something beautiful. He will provide them with the perfect companion, created just for them, more wonderful than anything they could have imagined. The Quran speaks of purified companions, spouses of perfect character and beauty, created for eternal partnership. This isn't limited to one gender. Both men and women receive the fulfillment of their heart's righteous desires. The concept of the Houris appears in the Quran in several places, described as companions with beautiful, striking eyes, pure and modest in gaze. The Arabic word used suggests purity, beauty, and perfection of form. According to mainstream Islamic scholarship, these are understood to be special creations of paradise, different from the daughters of Adam, mentioned as among the rewards for righteous believers. The Quran describes them in Surah Ar-Rahman as being in well-guarded pavilions, like pearls and coral, emphasizing their precious nature and protected purity. However, it is crucial to understand, based on various authentic narrations and scholarly consensus, that righteous believing women who enter paradise through their own faith and deeds are superior to the Houris in rank and status. The women of this world who enter paradise through their prayers, fasts, charity, patience, and righteousness. These are the true queens of paradise. They earn their place through their own struggle and devotion, which gives them a higher honor than beings created specifically for paradise who never face the tests and trials of earthly life. The Quran addresses both men and women when speaking of paradise's rewards, promising that they will have whatever their souls desire and whatever delights their eyes. While some descriptions focus on imagery more meaningful to the original audience's cultural context, the principle remains universal and equal. Every believer, regardless of gender, receives perfect companionship, perfect love, and perfect fulfillment of every appropriate desire. Allah's justice and generosity extend to all His faithful servants equally. Beyond romantic relationships, paradise offers the joy of friendship with the most exalted souls in creation. The Quran specifically mentions this blessing, stating that those who obey Allah and the Messenger will be in the company of those upon whom Allah has bestowed His grace, the prophets, the steadfast affirmers of truth, the martyrs, and the righteous. And how excellent are these companions! This means believers will sit with prophets like Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, and Muhammad. Peace be upon them all. Hearing their wisdom directly, they will meet the companions of the Prophet, those who sacrificed everything for Islam, and listen to their first-hand accounts. They will spend time with the saints and the righteous of all ages, sharing in their joy and learning from their experiences. Yet with all these wonders, with all the rivers and gardens and palaces and delights, there remains one blessing that surpasses them all. When the people of paradise have settled into their homes, when they have reunited with their loved ones, when they have begun to enjoy the countless gifts Allah has prepared for them, He will bestow upon them the greatest gift of all. They will see His face. This is the supreme pleasure, the ultimate joy, the blessing that makes paradise truly paradise. The Quran describes this magnificent moment. Some faces that day will be radiant, looking at their Lord. Their faces shine with a beauty that comes not from the blessings they've received, but from the source of all blessings they now behold. According to authentic hadith, on a day in paradise that corresponds to Friday in the worldly calendar, something truly magnificent occurs. The people of paradise will gather in a special assembly to meet with their Lord. The prophetic traditions describe this gathering taking place in a vast valley made of white musk, where the believers wear their finest garments and most beautiful jewelry, arranged in ranks based on their levels in paradise. The traditions tell us that Allah will manifest Himself upon the kursi, surrounded by pulpits adorned with jewels. Then, as the veils between Him and His creation lift, the believers witness a beauty, a majesty, a glory that makes everything else fade into insignificance. The hadith describes how they fall into prostration, overwhelmed by His magnificence, and He speaks to them in His blessed voice, telling them to raise their heads, for worship belonged to the world, and they are now in the land of reward. In these narrations, He invites them to ask for whatever they wish, and they ask for various things until they can think of nothing more. Then Allah declares that He bestows His pleasure upon them forever, that He will never be angry with them again for all eternity. This promise represents security and peace beyond description. The traditions tell us that after each such gathering, Allah increases His blessings upon them. More palaces will be added to their palaces, more gardens to their gardens, increase upon increase. When they return to their homes, they carry such light, such radiance from having been in the presence of Allah, that even their own attendants marvel at the transformation. This is why the people of paradise long for that gathering more than anything else. This is why, despite having everything their hearts desire, despite living in gardens of endless beauty, with perfect companions and unlimited pleasures, they still wait eagerly for that special time when they will see their Lord once again. For in seeing Him lies the fulfillment of the deepest yearning of the soul, the purpose for which we were created, the ultimate meaning of existence itself. Daily life, if we can call it that in a realm beyond time, consists of endless variety and joy. The inhabitants of paradise can fly like birds, soaring through the gardens, over the rivers, between the palaces and mountains. They can walk through vast valleys, exploring landscapes of ever-changing beauty. Or, based on what we understand about paradise transcending physical limitations, they could move according to their wishes, freed from the constraints we experience in earthly bodies. According to prophetic traditions, there will be gathering places in paradise, described as markets, where the inhabitants come to socialize and enjoy new experiences. One hadith describes how, when they visit these places, a wind will blow across them, bringing fragrances that increase their beauty even further. They return to their families even more radiant, and their spouses marvel at the increase in their beauty, each declaring the other more beautiful than before. The people of paradise will host great feasts, inviting friends and loved ones to gather, eat, drink, and share stories. They will enjoy deep conversations that bring more satisfaction than even the finest discussions of worldly life. Loneliness, one of the greatest afflictions of earthly existence, will be completely abolished. No one will ever feel alone, isolated, or disconnected. The strangers of this world, the outcasts, the lonely ones, the sick, the poor, the imprisoned. On that day, they will look back at all their suffering and find it meaningful in retrospect, transformed by the mercy and blessings now surrounding them. They will understand how every difficulty led to growth and every trial ultimately led to triumph. Paradise is not granted by mere wishing or empty claims. Throughout the Qur'an, Allah links paradise to specific qualities and actions. He speaks of those who believe and do righteous deeds. He mentions those who have humility in their prayers, who turn away from useless and vain things, who give their zakat, who guard their chastity, who keep their trusts and promises, who perform their prayers regularly and without neglect. The path requires faith in Allah, belief in His oneness, acceptance of His messengers, and commitment to His guidance. But faith alone is not enough. That faith must manifest in action, in the way we treat others, in how we conduct ourselves when no one but Allah is watching, in the sacrifices we make for truth and justice, in the patience we show during hardship, in the gratitude we express during ease. Paradise is promised to those who show mercy to others, especially to orphans and widows. According to the prophetic teachings, whoever takes care of an orphan will be with the Prophet in paradise, close in station. Simple acts of kindness open pathways to paradise. The traditions mention that showing affection to your children, feeding your family well, and praying in congregation all bring rewards that elevate one's station. Every act of worship, every moment of patience, every expression of gratitude, every struggle against your own negative inclinations, all of these contribute to building your home in paradise. But ultimately, paradise is a gift of Allah's mercy. No one enters paradise solely because of their deeds. Even the Prophet himself said this. Rather, we enter through Allah's mercy, and our deeds are simply the evidence of our faith, the proof of our sincerity, the means by which Allah determines where in paradise we will dwell and what levels we will attain. Even those who struggled with sins during their earthly lives may enter paradise if they died with faith in their hearts. Some may need purification first, a temporary correction to cleanse them of the effects of their mistakes. But eventually, everyone who held faith in Allah, even faith the size of a mustard seed, will enter paradise and remain there forever. Hell is not eternal for believers, but paradise is eternal for all who enter it. There are beautiful narrations from the prophetic traditions about people entering paradise in unexpected ways. One such account speaks of a man who will enter because a particular sin kept him humble and repentant, constantly aware of his need for Allah's mercy. Another narration describes two men meeting on the Day of Judgment, one with a single good deed and one needing just one good deed to enter paradise. In this account, the first offers his only good deed to the other, and Allah, in His infinite generosity, admits both of them to paradise, saying in effect, "How generous you are! But I am the most generous. Both of you enter together, for I have forgiven your sins." This world, with all its beauty and all its troubles, is temporary. We are travelers here, passing through on our way to our true home. Everything in this world has an expiration date. The earth will one day fold up like a scroll. The sun will lose its light. The stars will fall. The mountains will crumble to dust. Nothing of this world will remain except the souls of humanity, standing before their Creator, giving account of how they spent the precious gift of life. But paradise is eternal. According to the prophetic traditions, death will be brought forth in a form and slain, symbolizing that it will never again touch the inhabitants of paradise. A voice will proclaim that for the people of paradise, there will never again be death, only life that goes on forever, increasing in joy and beauty without end. Some narrations describe the immense rewards awaiting even those who enter paradise at the lowest levels. One such tradition speaks of vast blessings, including numerous attendants, expansive palaces, and gardens beyond measure. While we cannot fully grasp these descriptions with our limited earthly understanding, they point to a profound truth. If such is mentioned for the humblest station in paradise, what must the highest levels contain? What glory awaits those who struggled hardest, sacrificed most, remained most faithful? We were created for paradise, Our souls yearn for it, even when we don't understand that yearning. Every moment of beauty we experience in this world, every taste of joy, every feeling of peace, these are just tiny hints, small echoes of what awaits in our true home. When we see a sunset that takes our breath away, when we taste food that makes us close our eyes in pleasure, when we hear music that moves our souls, when we feel the warmth of love in our hearts, we are experiencing pale shadows of paradise, calling us toward our real destination. The path is clear. Faith in Allah and His Messenger. Prayer 5 times daily. Fasting in Ramadan. Giving charity to those in need. Pilgrimage to Makkah if able. Good character with all people. Patience during hardship. Gratitude during ease. Constant remembrance of Allah. Turning away from what He has forbidden. Running toward what He has commanded. Treating others as we wish to be treated. Fulfilling our responsibilities. Controlling our anger. Forgiving those who wrong us. Seeking knowledge. Speaking truth. Acting with justice. Showing mercy. Living with purpose. This is the path to Jannah, and it is a path that each of us can walk. We may stumble. We may fall. We may make mistakes and commit sins. But as long as we hold faith in our hearts, as long as we keep turning back to Allah in repentance, as long as we strive to be better today than we were yesterday, then paradise remains within our reach. Let us remember that Allah is the most merciful of those who show mercy. He wants us to succeed. He wants us to enter paradise. He has made the path clear and has promised to help those who sincerely seek Him. A beautiful hadith tells us that when we take one step toward Him, He takes 10 steps toward us. And when we walk toward Him, He runs toward us. This powerful metaphor illustrates the vastness of His mercy and how eagerly He responds to those who turn to Him. His mercy encompasses all things, and His generosity knows no limits. So let us live each day with paradise in our hearts and minds. Let us make our choices based not on the fleeting pleasures and pains of this temporary world, but on the eternal consequences that await. Let us be kind to others, knowing that kindness opens the gates of paradise. Let us pray with devotion, knowing that each prayer brings us closer to our goal. Let us give charity freely, knowing that what we give will be waiting for us in our true home. Let us control our anger and forgive others, knowing that paradise is promised to those who restrain themselves. And let us make dua constant and sincere supplication to Allah. Let us ask Him for Al-Firdaus, the highest level of paradise. Let us ask Him to forgive our sins and accept our deeds. Let us ask Him to reunite us with our loved ones in that eternal garden. Let us ask Him to allow us to see His noble face, to bask in His pleasure, to hear Him say He is pleased with us. And let us ask all this not just for ourselves, but for all believers, for all of humanity, that as many souls as possible may find their way to that eternal home of peace. May Allah grant us paradise through His mercy. May He make the path easy for us and keep us steadfast upon it. May He forgive our shortcomings and accept our efforts. May He reunite us with our loved ones in gardens beneath which rivers flow. May He grant us the supreme blessing of seeing His face and dwelling in His pleasure forever. And may He guide those who do not yet know Him, that they too may find their way to His endless mercy and to paradise, the eternal home He has prepared for those who love Him. If this story has touched your heart, if it has awakened in you a longing for paradise, then please like this video so others can find it too. Share it with someone you love, someone you want to see in paradise beside you. Subscribe to our channel so we can continue to bring you stories that nourish the soul and strengthen faith. And most importantly, make dua for yourself and for all of us, that Allah will make us among the people of paradise, that He will forgive us and have mercy on us, and that He will grant us the eternal home that He has promised to those who believe and do righteous deeds. May your nights be blessed with peaceful rest and your days filled with the remembrance of paradise. Ameen.